Hello, people of the internet. Sir, the Freedom Astrologer, once again here and doing another video recording. And this time I'm going to do a bit of I would say more difficult topic. And the video is called actually Make Me Feel Something Good, or even the addiction to feeling good. And I'm going to bring in, astrological examples. I'm going to bring in some also, psychological aspects, how these kind of patterns of these addictions to feeling good are started or begin actually. And I'm going to also show or kind of like say what you can do instead of these addictions or going into these addictions. And let's dive into it. Let's start with some of the astrological configurations that I wanted to speak to about. And the first one is let's talk about the signs, more like, let's say, impulsive signs, let's say. And when we're talking about feelings and emotions, like the title of the video is about feeling good, the addiction to feeling good. Whenever we talk about feelings, we always talk about the moon. So the moon is our emotions and feelings, and this is one of the most important parts of the moon. And the more impulsive signs for the moon that are more prone to these the things that I mentioned are kind of like the title of the concept of the video. We're talking about Aries Moon. First and foremost, Aries is a very much of a kind of like quick, impulsive, I want it now. And when we're talking about emotions and feelings, this is the way the Aries Moon kind of goes towards. And this is the reasons why the Aries Moon can be very much addicted to kind of always feeling, let's get something new, let's get something new kinds of feelings, new kinds of emotions, new types of feeling good, into my system, so I will feel better, I will feel good. And hopefully you can start to understand when I say this is kind of like one of the bases of starting to get more addicted to feelings, emotions. Now the second sign that is also a bit impulsive here is the Scorpio Moon. I hope you can see. I think you can. Now Scorpio Moon is a bit different. Scorpio Moon they can suppress a lot of their emotions and suppress. And then once the suppression can't happen anymore, then those intense feelings, then those intense emotions come out. And also remember, guys, Scorpio is extremes as well. So the moon feelings, Scorpio extremes, the Scorpio moons go towards extreme sensations, extreme feelings, which can also lead to, those intense desires of, I need to feel good. I'm almost, Scorpio is very, I would say, because it's so intense and so kind of I think intense is the right word, even focused at times, but let's stay with intense right now, because they are so intensely dealing with those feelings and emotions, they can start to get addicted to them as well. And in this case, we'll talk about feeling good, feeling those let's say more positive emotions. So these are the I would say the most let's say impulsive or easily addicted to feelings and emotions, kind of from a sign perspective. Let's talk about aspects a little bit as well. I think aspects are important as well. So in the first example that I gave you, we also, with the Aries Moon, we have Mars opposition to Moon. So Mars opposition or square, very similar, are also one of the configurations. Remember, similar to Aries. And when we're talking about kind of like more negative things, or more addictive, these kind of difficult topics, we're talking mostly about squares or oppositions. It's easier with the squares or oppositions to go into those, let's call them more negative sides of Aries energy or Mars energy, or in this case we combine them with the moon feeling. So it's easier to go into those impulsiveness. I need to get it now, I need to feel good now, I need to feel better now types of feelings. Now the second one I wanted to really discuss with you is also, we're talking about moon square Pluto or moon opposite Pluto, and this is a square here that I'm showing to you in this example, but opposition works as well. So I'll just replace, I'm going to show you Mars moon opposition again, and now again with the Pluto it's a little bit more, subtle. At first, the suppression can happen, but the intense bubbling feelings, even with the square and opposition, we can say even a little bit like darker, intense, like addictive. I want to get it now. I want it so bad. Pluto is so intense, and Scorpio as well, that it's almost, you can't, rapture yourself and kind of take yourself away from it, because the sensations and feelings are so intense. You need to get it now. So hope again, when I'm describing this to you, you can understand that when that intensity happens there, it's really easy to start getting addicted to whatever it is. But in this case, we talk about, the dopamine hits, the feelings, the feeling good. We're talking about that. So now that I wanted to also talk to you about conjunctions. I think where did I have? So here we have the Mars Moon conjunction, again similar to the square or opposition, a little bit maybe easier to navigate at times. And here we have the Moon and Pluto conjunction. It's, again, very similar to what I talked about with the square and opposition. These are the, let's say, I would say my, let's say go-to configurations, are more obvious kind of configurations when I see that, okay, so maybe this person has a tendency to really be addicted to their feelings, or get a lot of intense feelings, intense emotions deep down. And let's talk a little bit about that, and where does this kind of addiction happens, where does this addiction take us, and where we can experience this, where we can see this. A lot of this, starts with or in childhood still. Every time we get something, or something more difficult happens, something triggers our emotions, something triggers our feeling life, something unpleasant, maybe we don't get what we want, maybe something even worse happens, somebody dies, something unpleasant happened that triggers unpleasant emotions, feelings within our being. Now, what usually happens when that happens to a child? Usually the parent goes in and starts to immediately make the children or child feel better. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say, your favorite toy broke. Let's go get a new one. Let's say, you didn't get what you wanted. Maybe somebody else got that part in the play or in the competition. The child lost, whatever it is that made the person feel worse or bad. Let's get a cookie. Let's get a pizza. Let's get something to make you feel better. Let's go to the cinema. Let's watch that movie you like. That movie that triggers good, positive emotions immediately. Let's go into whatever it is that will make you feel better. This is one of the really important parts of this video. Now, this is where the kind of like the mistake happens. So instead of processing and just feeling those emotions, they get boggled down, deeper down, and let's get something on top of these feelings. Let's get something on top of these sensations, feelings, emotions, to make us feel good, to make us feel better again. Now, hopefully you can understand, if you do this 1, 2, 3, 4 times, this starts to become a habit. So any time something unpleasant or negative happens within my being or within my consciousness or within my material reality, I immediately go to, shopping. Shopping is a big one. Food, eating is a good one. Entertainment. Now, if these kind of pile up, these won't be enough soon. No, drugs, alcohol, anything more to kind of get that more intense feeling of good into our system, into our consciousness, into our being. Let's get those good feelings in there. And this is, I hope you can understand, this is where the addiction to feeling good starts. And now, in modern times, every kind of industry is actually directed or geared towards making us feel something better, feel something good, make us feel really good about ourselves. Be it the beauty industry, be it the food industry, be it even the spiritual self-growth industry. I will, do this, then you will feel better. I will create this, you will come to this and do this meditation, whatever it is. I'm keeping it very simple. Whatever it is to make us feel really good about ourselves immediately. And one of the, problems with this is because when a person starts to talk about more of these difficult topics, let's say a teacher or like I'm doing these difficult topics, a lot of the times people go, they don't want to even hear it because the addiction to feeling good, the addiction to feeling better all the time, to feeling these positive emotions is so good, it's so prevalent, it's all we know. And so we can't even go to process, to kind of understand these deeper, darker feelings of ours. Hope that makes sense. And I hope it kind of like the snowball effect of constantly repeating the same pattern. Constantly, I need to feel better. Something bad happens, I need to feel better. Something bad happens, I need to get this. And it becomes a habit, it becomes a belief. Now we do this. And every kind of industry does that. Every kind of person does that. Instead of going into this processing of these feelings and emotions. And this is actually one of the places, or one of the really big important places, to understand where we need to go to as well. Let's put ourselves back into that childhood experience of, something bad happens, something unpleasant, something, negative happens. Let's say I don't get the part in the play. I feel sad, I feel bitter, I feel disappointed. Now, instead of immediately going to that pizza, immediately going to that, whatever it is that the person or the child really likes, it's important to start, teaching children and ourselves to process these feelings before we go and take a pizza. Now, I'm not saying pizza is bad. I'm not saying food is bad. I'm not saying meditations are bad. Not at all. Not at all. Because it's important to understand that these are good things as well. The important part about this is we can't really jump from, from this kind of lower level immediately to this very high level. These are the levels. Here are some levels that we need to go through as well before we can get to those higher levels and we can do those pleasant things. Otherwise, those feelings and sensations get suppressed, and then illnesses happen, bursts of anger, a lot of kinds of things that are even more unpleasant start to happen later on in our experience. And then we're like 60, 50, 40, whatever it is, and we're kind of like wondering, where did this came from? But it was a constant habit of never processing, never experiencing what we're experiencing, never experiencing our feelings, and then going immediately to whatever entertainment, again, I'm not knocking entertainment. Love movies myself, love sports, love a lot of good things in the entertainment industry. But the important part is to go towards these good, pleasant things after we process these feelings and emotions that actually are here, then from that, let's say, processed place, it's even more easier to go and make those decisions. Like, even, do I even want to or go and have a pizza? Do I even want to see this movie, or do I want to do something entirely else? Do I need to really go and make myself feel any better immediately? If I've actually processed my emotions, feelings, I know that I might be feeling a little sad, but I know that I don't actually need any kind of thing, be it an orgasm, sex, very, very popular, drug of choice, that I don't even need these things. I can be with myself and then, process these feelings, emotions, and then make better decisions later on. So hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully these configurations, make sense. And hopefully, one of my big hopes for this video is that you start to notice these patterns, that you start to notice whenever you feel those kind of lower, more difficult emotions, because we are in a kind of like a very difficult space, let's say, in our human society right now. And it's important to learn for ourselves to process these feelings and emotions, not to go immediately into those addictions, and also to teach our children, the young ones, how to process these feelings and emotions, how to take better care of ourselves emotionally, not to go immediately into those addictions, not to make our children more addicted to these gadgets, whatever it is that's out there. Something happens, play a game, here's a gadget, this is the modern, it used to be something else, now it's the modern thing. And my hope for you with this video is, hope you get a grip, an idea of this pattern, of this kind of, something happens, now I need to really go instantly into making myself feel good. I need to immediately make myself feel better. And one of the questions I would like to leave you with is, why do I need to make myself feel better instantly? Why can't I process these feelings and emotions that are actually going on within myself? So thank you very much, guys. Sort of the Freedom Astrologer out for now. Really enjoyed, giving this information, providing this information. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments below, how does it feel? How does it make you understand anything on a deeper level? Have you noticed this pattern? What have you done? Curious to hear. And thank you all for now.